Hi, happy end of October, start of November. Um, I wanted to do this is going to be the first in a series, probably a monthly series, depending on how frequently we actually update the dashboards, but won't be more than monthly um, because I don't think that many changes all that quickly will be that helpful. But because this dashboard is sort of a living thing for me, I use it every day. There are times when I realize how I have it set up isn't quite as like optimized as I want it to be, and so I've made some changes over the last month to both my personal dashboard and to the public dashboard that is for sale. So if you've already purchased that dashboard, you can click into it, the template again, and duplicate it with the changes if you haven't already duplicated it for your own use. In this video, I'm going to go over how I added each new element. If you've already duplicated it for yourself and you do want to be adding in some of these new elements, so it's going to act both as a tour and a tutorial, hopefully. So the first thing that I added to my own dashboard was I added in this little weather widget, which if you're interested in, drop a note in the comments or reply to this email, or send us a message basically wherever you see this. And I can send you the link to where I put it together. I didn't add it to the main dashboard because it was location specific when you created the widget, but I can, if you're interested, I can do another walkthrough on how I added that widget and where it came from. The reason I added it is because the weather, the temperature, the air pressure, those things do all affect my symptoms and how they show up. So I just did like a quick 3-day forecast so I could, see what's happening today and the next couple days, maybe if that's gonna like affect my planning for what I need to do in the week. I also updated my daily symptom management. I was finding I wasn't using my acupressure mat every day, and I recently went abroad and incorporated the supplement and a daily to twice daily liquid IV, and I found that really helped manage my symptoms even while I was traveling, which was a huge relief. So I sort of added that in there if you're struggling with some ideas of what to put there. Or if it's not helpful, feel free to delete it. I'll show you can do this. And then, oops. Really, if you just highlight it and then click delete on your keyboard, it will go away. I'm not going to do that because I like that. The next change I made is in my daily symptom log. At first, I had it just as it was in, for my flare stage, just as it was in the public for sale template, where it was beginning flare up, inactive flare up, recovering from flare up, and flare up free. However, I'm tracking both my migraine and trying to figure out some hand and arm pain. So I decided to make 2 different groups for each. I did still sort them by color so that visually I can see where in my flare-ups I am. If you have more than one thing you're trying to track, you can do this as well. You can click flare stage, go into edit property. If you want to add things, you can add them here. If you want to change the color, you can change that here. And you can like drag and drop, grabbing this side button here. This next addition is this daily menus section. I didn't put this on the template that you can purchase, but if enough people seem like they're interested in it, feel free to drop a comment here or let us know on Instagram, or if you found this video via our newsletter, feel free to respond to that. But this was actually inspired by an Instagram post based off of a little doodle that Emily made. I can show you. And it's all about small, tangible ways to take care of yourself each day without overwhelming yourself. Sorry, it's loading slowly. Here we go. So this was the doodle of it, and I adjusted it for myself. Some of them aren't exactly the same as this is a great opportunity to show you how I got each one in each list, because this was something I added to the daily database. You can see once it loads here. I just added a new database with the different activities, which menu I want them to be on, and then a little checkbox so that I can check them off once they're done. And here, what should be happening is you can click this filter, this little cone thing is a filter, and click menu, and menu is be nice to your space. And then I'm going to relock that so it should stay. Let's see the other ones. Yes. So each of these the idea is that you can just pick one. You can do more, obviously, but there are different categories for being ready for the day I also added them into my self-care options, but it's just nice to have it on the home page. When I got back from my trip, I was struggling to get back into my routine, so this was an easy way to be like, oh, these are the things I usually like to prioritize. The last thing I changed in just my own dashboard, and remember, if any of these changes sound like they would be useful to you, please let me know, and I can send you a more in-depth tutorial on how I added them if Notion doesn't come very intuitively to you. But again, with my daily symptoms, I changed their colors and tried to group them by ones that I tend to experience together, or by degree of pain. Some of these, no matter where I am on my pain scale, I will still feel them, but sometimes they're more likely to occur at a certain level of pain. So I did try to organize it by that. That just helps me when I'm filling it out each day. Just makes it a little bit quicker. Next, I want to go over the changes that I made to the dashboard template and how I made those, so that if you've already duplicated the template, you can just follow the instructions on how to add each piece if it seems like something that you want. Okay, one thing that I changed in the dashboard template is in the graphs at the bottom that show your pain levels, your brain fog levels, fatigue levels, and stress levels. Before, I didn't have it showing what flare-up stage you were in at that point. It was just showing, okay, maybe this is where let me go. You were having moderate brain fog or high brain fog, but it didn't show where, according to your pain or your illness flare up, you were. So I added that to each one of these, just to help. I think it will help make planning for pain management or prevention just a little bit easier, predicting what typically happens in which stage of pain or which stage of your illness. So if that's something you want to add, you can go, I have to unlock this. You click timeline, because each one of these, the format it's showing up in is timeline. Then you can click edit view, and when you go to properties, the flare stage is going to be down here on hidden in timeline. You click the eye so that it shows up, and what I did was I dragged it to the top, so that's the first thing that shows up. Actually, maybe after the pin, because that shows what day it is. But it's the first thing that shows up, so you can see, okay, at this point in my flare-up, I had this level of pain and these symptoms. And that's the same for all of these. You go edit view, properties, it'll show you how many are shown. In yours, it will say 2 shown because the flare stage won't be shown. Then you click the eye here, drag it up 1, and you're all set. The next change that I made is in the pain relief methods page. Here there's this board of pain relief tools. I decided that I wanted a place for wish list items because I came across something, it's called a Jelly Bend. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I added it to my wish list. And I wanted a place to keep track of pain relief tools that I had and pain relief tools that I was trying to save for, things like that. So in order to add this to your pain relief tools database and have a separate wish list, unlock this. If you've locked your pages, you're always going to have to unlock it before you make changes. So what I did, you can already see that there's a wish list group here hidden, but I'm gonna go about this as if there's not one there to show you how to make it. You click this little plus sign right here, it'll say new group. I'm gonna do it all caps so I know which one is new and which one is old. Oops. Here, my wish list 2. So you can add that to your pain relief tools. Then what you want to do is go to the filter button, click category, and then category, you want to change that to does not contain. I'm going to click both of them, but you'll just have one. Wish list, and then it's going to say for everybody. You can hide that group like that. You click into the 3 dots on the right of it and then click hide group. Then to add, you can type out your title however you want it. You know, you can, I'm going to copy this, I'll paste it here, tools, wish list, and then what you can do is say / linked, and then click link view of database, and you click your pain relief tools database. Instead of a table view, I'm going to have it as a gallery view. I'm not going to show the database title. I'm not going to have a card preview. I won't show the page icon. Those are just my aesthetic preferences. And then once again, you go to the filter button, you go category, and then this one you keep it here, it's category contains, and then you click your wish list category. And you can click this button so that category bit, it's still active, but it's just not showing you the filter. It's a little less visually busy. And then you can see your wish list is here. And then if you get the item, you can change it from wish list to whatever category it belongs to, and it will remove itself from the pain relief tools wish list. Okay, I made one more change to the daily symptoms log, and it's the scale for brain fog, fatigue, stress. Just those three, I believe. Before, it was low, able to do usual activities, moderate, interrupts usual activities, and high, unable to do usual activities. And on days where I could logically tell that my brain fog and fatigue were very high, I was still marking it as low, able to do usual activities. And I realized that that was because my usual activities at that point were very much based around how much fatigue and brain fog I had. So I was getting, the minimum I needed to done each day. I could complete like my work and I could get myself to eat a meal. But anything's outside of that, I have a project where I'm trying to put a pantry up in my front yard. Like, ideally, I would have been working on that each day, and I just was never able to. So I changed the scale to low, being able to do the ideal activities. If you had 100% of your druthers, what would your day look like? With some realism of knowing you have a chronic illness, but like, say it's the best day you can imagine, even if that's still like a 3 on the typical pain scale. But you're able to do your dishes and take your dog for a walk and read a book you've been wanting to read for a month, and meeting a friend for a coffee. You're able to have the day you want to have as a chronically ill person. Moderate now for me is interrupts ideal activities. If I wake up and I'm like, these are things I want to do today, and I'm not able to do them, then I know, okay, my fatigue and my brain fog and my stress are probably impacting that. And then high is just totally unable to function. And that stayed the same. I made one small change to the activity log. Where I sorted, it should be being sorted by energy required. That might be in mine. So you can see, you click these up and down arrows, that is to sort. So I'll do that here. Click energy required. And then you can hide that like that. And that way, anytime you add something, you can see like, the things that are really high spoons, I typically am not able to do without help, things like that. Instead of it all being sort of mixed up, I just think it visually is more helpful that way. If it doesn't help you at all that way, you do not have to do it. This is really a take what you want and leave the rest kind of deal. Okay, and the final change I made was I added a PT exercises page. And I sorted it both by time needed and by what the purpose is. You can, if you already have the full dashboard, you can duplicate just this page, and then you can use the side menu to, let's see. And now that is here. It'll show up in your side menu, and you can drag it. Let's say this is another one of your templates. You can just drag it there. I tried to break it down so that you could, if you only have a few minutes, you can grab something that will help you that way. Or if you're struggling with a certain area of your body, you can pick something out that way. If you don't want to duplicate the page and you want a full in-depth tutorial on how to build it, leave a comment below. But because duplicating it is an option right now, I'm assuming most people want the simplest way to access it. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But feel free to let me know if you want to see step by step how I built it. Those are all of the changes that I made to the dashboard over the last, this is probably over the last 2 months. I'm going to try not to make too many finicky changes with the template, because I know at a certain point the optimization is just an endless thing to keep up with. These were things that I really felt like improved the functionality of it. If you have any questions on how to use any of these elements or how to implement them, please let us know. If there are other updates you think would be helpful, feel free to drop them in the comments or send us an email. We're always trying to make this as useful as possible for people. And we want to make sure that if you've purchased it, it's not just sitting there unused, and it's actually helpful for you. So if you're struggling with that, please send us an email. We really, really want to help you out.